Focus up, humans. Focus up right here. Tiffany, look at me. What am I doing? What am I doing right now? That's right, I'm looking at you. What the fuck you figure that means? Correct, it means quit talking to Denise about Spider-Man. Some of us have not seen it yet, and that makes literally every single thing you say a spoiler. So shut it down and focus up right here, eyes front. If you can't see me, I can't see you. What's a hand up mean? It means shut the hell up and focus. Now you all may think, because we've been working our asses off, that means we're entitled to a little downtime. You may think that because we're close to closing night, that means it's time to fucking let loose and forget all we have learned and rehearsed. You might think that you deserve a break. Well, I don't know if you were just born today, and perhaps today is your first day on Earth, and if it is, I apologize. Welcome, sorry for the mess. But it is still 2021, and if the reviews mean anything to you, then you should know we got a lot of work to do. And since I see a bunch of full-standing, post-larval, post-pupal, just out of the sack humans here, I'm gonna figure that this is not your first day. So let's quit grab ass and piss wasting, fart sniffing, junk tapping, soft shoot tappity tippins here. Buckle down and ride this psychotic year out like it's our bitch. Because he came here to fight. He's got a lot of fight left. Here's the thing. I know you know the steps, humans. I've seen it. You've done the work, you're limber, you're working through the changes. You let the understudies just fine, and you kept the show going. But we are not done. Times are still different. All of it is different. Normal is now. It is always now, not then. Stop trying to grab on to normal because normal is now. I don't want to hear a goddamn one of you whinge that it's getting dark at 5 o'clock again. That's like complaining that it's cold in February. Of course it is, Tiffany, it's February. You are not new here. Your normal went out the window in 2020. This is now. Brace yourself, because I'm going to hit you with a little golf club to the head surprise. Time moves forward. Doesn't care about your normal. And the multiverse is not within our reach, no matter how great Spider-Man was. Now, I know what you're thinking. Chad, did you, in fact, see the new Spider-Man? Yes. And is that why we're stopping today's production to call a meeting? No. As previously mentioned, this is a Spider spoiler-free zone. The reason I'm pushing the pause is because even with all the work, all the time spent, all the heartache, heartbreak, wholehearted, hard-on hitting opening night since the clock turned 2021, you're still not nailing all the steps, and the critics are noticing. Now, usually you don't call the critics out, but that's gonna be a problem because the critics are right here, and they're me. So here at the end of this year, I'm calling the show, circling you all up, and giving you some fucking notes. Now, the holidays are here, and typically that means it's time to carb up and booze out, which we are going to do. That is already earned. But that doesn't mean that we're gonna forget the fucking choreography that we learned at the start of this fucking new life we're all living. Let me remind you of some of the simpler steps. 5, 6, 7, 8. Listen to the scientists, not the TikTok. Doctors don't care about your God. They went to school longer than you. If they say it is a good idea, it is a good idea. Turn, pivot, pause. Good, okay, that's looking good. Let's try some more complicated stuff. And a 1, and a 2, and a worrying is normal, but it is not helpful. Nice, way to stick the landing. But do you know the finale? 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. In the end, no matter where we are from, where we are born, what we have and what we've done, we are in fact all the same. That is a hard one. It's always been the hardest one. It's a complicated step. It requires fast recall and a lot of study. And yet, when you say it out loud, it's really fucking simple. So simple, in fact, that it has been the core of almost all of the greatest stories, and yet we keep missing it, keep tiptoeing around it, faking it, because we're not in the front row and we can get away with it, or just completely biff it, cracking shins and taking us out of the game. So it should be no surprise that one of the most anticipated movies of the year, dealing entirely with the concept of the futility of finding common ground in a chaotic world adjusting to change, has flopped at the box office. It was around this time, 2 years ago, that I was tasked with reviewing my final film of 2019 and what would be the last movie I saw in the theaters until June of 2021. That film was Cats. The story of a tribe of feral, horny ocelot people looking for a place to get high and bang it out before one of them is sacrificed to their god for a peaceful harvest. We all saw it. That, too, was a box office flop. And also apparently the harbinger of the apocalypse now that we look at it, ass up, ammonia sprayed, hindsight, which is, of course, 2020. Now here, almost a year to the fucking day, I am here to review another box office flop. But unlike last time, this is not a demonic summoning ceremony, but more a close, tender, emotional, introspective look at who we are, and that should tell you something. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. We all know the story. Those of you humans that went to theater school definitely know the tunes and have busted a chord or two singing them at your college auditions. It was conceived by 5-time Tony winner Jerome Robbins, written by Arthur Lawrence, music by Leonard Bernstein of R.E.M. fame. Take a moment with that. With lyrics by the late, great Stephen Sondheim. This is the story of the Jets and the Sharks, two rival gangs in New York City who just can't work it out because racism. In the midst of these rival gangs, two star-crossed lovers, Tony and Maria, fall in love, start a gang war, which ultimately ends in Tony dying, and everybody feels like fucking garbage. Sorry, spoilers. Now, if this story sounds familiar, that's because you saw it already. In Romeo and Juliet, Nomeo and Juliet, Warm Bodies, Shakespeare in Love, and that one weird rave Baz Luhrmann threw in 1996. As well as the original West Side Story released in 1961, which it won Best Picture. Spielberg has been working on this remount since 2014. He cast a huge gaggle of newcomers, including some that shan't be mentioned because they suck in real life, and enlisted the help of Tony Kushner to rewrite some of the cringier 1950s dialogue, because if you think cancel culture is a bad thing, go back and enjoy the days of a Californian Natalie Wood and an Ohio-born George Shakiris playing Puerto Ricans. Plus that one time Marlon Brando played a Chinese guy. Among others, it was a horror show. After all this time, the release has come. And it was truly a spectacle and feast for the eyes. The music was soaring. The sets, a grim, dusty, dangerous, and broken New York. The singing and dancing reminded me of the days when triple threats were a thing and Johnny Depp, Russell Crowe, and Eddie fucking Redmayne would never be allowed to sing in a musical. The movie looked vintage, like a grandma's photo album was actually a portal that you fell into. Colors that were both a main course and dessert for your brain. The choreography was breath-stopping, watching humans fly. The acting was performance. Everyone was at a 10. The entire show. While the drama broke the scale and hit a level only touched by telenovela and Nicolas Cage. Every shot was careful but loose, like you felt you should duck once the legs started flying. Head forward when they were whispering, eyes wide when they cried. I cried so much, I dehydrated myself. Not so much as at the drama, but at the explosion of performance, music, and dance, like I'd never seen them before, the way they were meant to be seen. It was like being a freshman in the world again. When it was done, I was both a full tummy post-Thanksgiving tired and a wrung-out sponge. Because it was why movies were great. For that few hours, it was a dream to just exist. And yeah, of course, the story is not mind-expanding. It's not a complicated thing to grok. It never was, it never will be. And yet, this movie, with all of its perfection and delivery and timelessness as promised, was a bomb in 2021. And that is why, before we move forward into the next number, I thought I'd stop the show and point it out. It should concern every one of us that something that celebrated the art of humanity died on the vine. And yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of reasons. Should have been released on demand. Should have not cast that aforementioned jagbag. Probably should have not opened the week before Spider-Man, but I think that it is bigger than that. These times are too complicated for simple stories. Just falling in love is not enough. Here is not time for handshakes and harmonies. Real humanity is gonna take some hard work right now. And we should all feel pretty fuck damned that this movie bombed like cats. So wrap your feet, stretch out, drink your water, and get ready to give it your all here. Because I think we can do it. I think we can close it out in style and start on the next big show. Even in the face of all that was 2021, I do believe there can be peace and quiet and open air, time together with time to spare, a new way of living. I do believe that there is a place for us. Somehow, someday, somewhere. But it's gonna take a lot of work to get there. Happy New Year, I love you, and good night.